I have a challenge with journaling. I don't do it, and everyone keeps telling me to do it, and I'm just not super into it. So, on today's episode of Scratchpad, I'm going to talk to you about journaling. Hey, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about journaling. I don't do it, I hate it, and I know that I probably should do it. So, I just took a journal that I've tried to start in a bunch of times before, a paper journal, and I just started writing my first few sentences. And I thought I would talk to you about journaling because I'm not good at it. And there's lots of different ways to do it. Like I've done the bullet journal a little bit. I think the bullet journal is kind of a cool technology, so to speak. I think it's kind of clever, but I'm not a journal kind of guy. So I want to know from you. Remember, you can comment wherever you're seeing this. I want to hear from you if you're doing journaling, if you're doing paper or electronic, what you're doing with it and why. And if you're really daring, maybe you'll even show us a couple of samples or something. But what I'm looking to do with journaling, here's what I believe versus what I'm doing with journaling. What I'm looking to do with it is everyone says that it's kind of a meditative process. And you can go in there and you can kind of like, I'm thinking about some things now that I'm journaling. And it's just not my way. I just think about the thing and then I go off and I do my work. And what I least do in journaling is I least try to write because I'm a writer. So I write on projects or I write on things that I'm working on. I write on books I'm putting together and that sort of a thing. I don't write it into a journal and then go back and type it somewhere else. It's not worth it for me. The other thing that some people do with their journal is they use it to just kind of keep their aspirations and goals going. They keep it to sort of be affirming. And so I was thinking, what would I want from a journal? I think one of the things I'd want from a journal is I would want to know where was I? Where was my place in my mind right now? What was going on in my head? And so I don't know. First off, start commenting and let me know what you're using your journal for and why. Tell me a little bit about it. When I started with this one today, I just put the date and I wrote something I was feeling really excited about my backpack show. And so I wrote, I run the coolest internet video business show in the world. Technically true because it is the coolest one. It's not the biggest one, but it's certainly the coolest one. We have amazing guests, and I was so super excited about it. Carol says, I'm all over this. Cool, because I want to hear from people. Next thing I wrote was that my owner insider group is looking up again. It's going great, so much better already. We relaunched my primary business, Owner Insider, and so it's basically a mix of a mastermind group. It's got all my courses, it's got all my webinars, and it's just all bundled up. But what we did was we kind of had to review who we were considering our main customer, our primary customer. And so it was important to me to cover that in my journal because I was like, man, I usually talk about the down stuff. I deal with depression and I'm a reasonably grumpy person by nature. And so I wanted to, mark that like, hey, look, today I was feeling pretty good and pretty happy. If I had one fewer feline, I would be so happy. Jump. Astrid. Hey, Astrid, it's been a minute. How are you? Astrid says, I love journaling. It makes my head sane. I use different books for different things. One is a to-do list. One is a day-to-day notes. So I'm so curious about that. Hey, eat my butt. So I think that, so that right there, I would be lost. Like I can't have multiple books. I feel already weird having a book. And I'm going to walk this thing around like it's some kind of, pretend Bible or something like that. I don't know. I feel worried. So the way I used to do that in journaling, I'd put an exclamation point next to something that was an action that I'd have to take. And then I would try my best to transfer that to where I actually keep my actions, which in my case is a platform called Trello. I do the same with if I'm going to do lists. If I need the list for any kind of permanent amount of time, I keep that in Evernote. Couldn't do it. Bob is still angling for me to go up to Vermont, and so I can go get some eggnog from one of the best places around. I'm down with that idea. I haven't driven since like March 2nd, March 3rd, so maybe I'd dust off the old Camaro and put it out on the road for some me time. Doesn't sound appealing when I say it out loud. All right, so I'm using paper and pen, and again, there's so many reasons why to use software, and I'm a big fan of software, but I'm just trying it on paper and pen. What I got for journaling paper, by the way, is it's a graph paper. I hope you can see that. I hope that lines up. So it's like a graph paper. And so what I like about that is that I can pause and I can do creative right brain sort of stuff. I'm a right brain thinker. I do a lot of mind mapping, that sort of thing. And I like that I can use this for that. But also, of course, there's lines in graph paper, so I can use the lines. Would you not make a sound, creature? So that's what I'm doing. And like I said, the first 2 sentences in it this time round are that I run the coolest internet video business show in the world, and that my owner insider group is looking up again. So much better already. I'm curious to know what you put in your journals. What goes in there? What kind of words do you put in there? Carol says, I do things digitally. I love the ability to search through it easily and transfer to other places. I mean, I totally agree with you. And if I were going to use something digital, I would use Evernote. People tell me all the time that the one of the benefits of journaling in a piece of paper, see, I'm already torn. I'm already thinking like, oh, she's totally right, because that's the way I do everything else. They're saying it's to unplug, it's to keep all those other tabs closed and all that sort of a thing. So that's a deal. Bob says, I'm really a big fan of David Allen's Getting Things Done. I never, well, I'll share my thoughts on productivity in a second. For tasks, I'm obsessed with the To-Do app, which goes really well to GTD. I'll tell you both. I do this the exact opposite of David Allen. David Allen's kind of like, take all your things and prioritize all your things and whatever. I do the exact opposite. I use something called a 9box, and I will explain it to you graphically. If you consider 3 hours of your day, the 3 hours that you work on your business instead of like just in the business. Wow, this pen is already having a challenge. I thought this was brand new ink. Maybe it's just the paper. Maybe the paper's not on 30. Sorry. See, fuck paper. Oh, I like paper. It's more whatever. Well, my pen is not appreciating it. All right. So I'll use something like Evernote. The idea of the 9box is basically you take 3 hours, you split it into 3 sets of 20 minutes. So you basically have 9, right? 3 20 minutes in an hour, 3 20 minutes in an hour, 3 20 minutes in an hour. And I try to prioritize my most important on the business work into those 3 hours. So I try to put 3 hours into my day into my business, not into the work I'm doing for clients. And then I try to do 2 or 3 hours of client work. I only schedule my days to 40%. And I show this to people all the time. I only schedule my days to 40%. And I think that the reason why I do that, or the reason it matters to me, is that it's amazing how many times people stuff their day full and they talk about how busy they've been and how productive they've been. And what they haven't been is they haven't really worked a whole lot on their goals. So I'm always just kind of crazy weirded out by how people do what they do with some of this stuff. So let's see. There's a new version of Evernote. See, you never get a new version of your journal. I just threw mine across the room somewhere, hopefully at the cat. But while I'm opening up Evernote for you, let's see here. I use Evernote, iCal, and Asana, but the journaling is, to me, more creative and something that's right in front of me. That makes sense. And when we get Corona under control, come back to Norway. Astrid, I'll tell you this for sure. I would only go back to Norway for you and some food, because I love your country. I think your country is beautiful. I would love to go and complain to the Viking Museum one more time. But that dinner we had way up on that mountaintop or whatever, looking down on everything, that was the best part of it. There's some amazing food there. I can't remember the name of that place, but that's the only reason I'd go. I'd have to hang out with you. So when this is all handled, just let me know. All right. So I'm gonna go to electronic journaling, because screw that noise. I just did not enjoy that experience of the pen not behaving. And that's a great pen, by the way, and it's a reasonably expensive pen. And so I'm extra grumpy that it didn't work. But that's enough. That's enough to turn me right off of it. So the challenge I'm having with Evernote is, I don't know, they must have got some new product manager over there. So now they're making, new stuff all the time. And it's never something I need. It's more like something they thought would be a great idea. So 2021 journal. All right, let me see. I don't think I can do this. Well, here's what I don't know. 2021 journal. I'll put a shortcut for it. That way I use the shortcuts part of Evernote more than anything. So I got a 2021 journal. Let me do this though. Let me see if I can get it up onto the real screen. What I don't remember though. Is my password. Okay. Hang tight 1 second. Evernote.com. I'm going to show you me doing this. Oh man, I hope it's Chris Brogan. Oh, Well, it thinks it is. I use Evernote. Oh, come on. I thought it was that. Oh, that's weird. It'll let me put a wrong username in and then tell me it doesn't like me. You modified your password 26 days ago. You suck. The password. You know the worst thing in the universe? Worst thing in the universe is, and don't tell me about 1Password. I know that it exists, but screw that noise too. Carol says, while I'm waiting for my password to be resent to me, the thing I like about GTD is the idea of being able to free my mind of clutter. Well, you know, another way you could do it is just meditate, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's probably fine. That's probably fine what you're doing. Ah, sugar. This is so grumpy making. And if this thing turns around and tells me that you just used this password, I'm going to stab things. Password can contain letters, numbers, and punctuation. Oh, see, let's talk a little bit about passwords for a minute. It is so frustrating that strong password is usually at least 8 characters long and includes uppercase and lower letters. Those are in there. Are you shitting me? Okay, you know, I'll tell you a secret about passwords. If your password software forces me to use a different password protocol than what I am using, then that is a problem and you are a problem. Because what then happens is that, sorry, I'm just having to put this in. No spaces. Because now this one, because there's no spaces, now I'm going to like forever keep forgetting this password. So I'm going to forever be like, oh, I don't know, whatever this one is. So here, let me go to this. Let me go to this. Stand by. Find a notebook. We're getting there, guys. All right. Welcome back. So Chris at chrisbrogan.com. This is my password because you guys suck. Sure, update the password. You might as well. You are the worst. So 2021 journal. And now, click plus to add a note. Click shut up. All right, now I'll share the screen with you. Okay, hang on. Whew, a lot of people. Have you tried Rocketbook? Yes, I tried Rocketbook. Now, Rocketbook's kind of interesting. I can give it some points. You need a very special pen. You need to have enough of those pens around. You have to do these things. You know, I've tried it. I think it's whatever. My friends all really wanted that for a long time, though. It just wasn't my jam. Evernote's one of those tools I'm underutilizing. Well, Carol, you know how you show me your dashboardy thing with your stuff? I use Evernote as much as you use that stuff, but there's nothing special. I just write notes. An empty mind is a terrible thing to waste. Guess what? I have my bullet journal keywords for all my passwords. Yeah, so I have that in my Evernote. It's in a file called "There's probably not any passwords in here," and then whatever. So let's see. What I don't know is I can't zoom this in, so I can't really show you too well, you know, what I'm writing. But basically, I'll just do this. So 12. What's today? 9/20. I'll just do my thing. Font. Can I pick a font? Well, I don't have like, be quiet. I run the coolest internet video business show in the world. My Owner Insider project is relaunched and people are really digging it. So I feel really cool. I started a little live video to get people to tell about journaling, but I haven't learned enough yet. There you go. So I got a journal. Now, the reason I use Evernote, the reason I like Evernote, the reason that's something to consider. It's just that I could use it everywhere. I can use it on my phone. I could use it on any web browser. Like this is a browser-based one, and I have the app running on my Mac here. So I have the offline version. Because one thing I like to do a lot, and I've learned through experience, is I like to set my laptop in airplane mode every now and again, and then just work on the thing I'm working on. That's a real easy way to get more productive. And I used to do that on airplanes a lot. When I would go on an airplane, I would be really productive between flying from here to Norway to hang out with Astrid. But I don't fly that much anymore, just like a lot of people. So I'm curious to know if anyone else has some thoughts on journaling. What else are you doing with journaling, and what makes it work or not work for you? I'm also curious to know if you're a digital or a paper journalist, and why. Because I just decided that my pen didn't work when I wanted it to, and that was it. I was done. I'm ready for the digital again. I'm not ever that far from an electronic device with access to the internet. So I don't think I'm going to feel too sad if I use that model. But I don't know. I think I'll call it good. I have a feline situation here anyway. So thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for coming by Scratchpad and seeing me scratch out some thoughts on what it means to have a journal going. I'm Chris Brogan.